out on some of this money, we didn't want to lose that. If we go down to one umpire, a lot of us get a lot less chance to work and earn some money over the summer. So credit to David and Carp and everybody for fighting to keep the 2 umpires. That does create some new challenges though, because there's not really a system made for 2 umpires with balls and strikes behind here. So we sort of developed one, and that's what we're going to show you today, okay? So first let's talk about what we call, what used to be called the plate umpire. We call it U1, umpire 1. Let me back up. We're going to split the field up a little bit differently than you would if you were working a normal 2-man umpire system. So the way we're going to split the field up, and if you don't remember anything I say, here's the biggest takeaway for you. U1 is calling balls and strikes, plays at first base, and plays at the plate. U2, I'll show you the starting position and where to move and all that. Umpire 2 is calling plays at third base and 99.9% of plays at second base. There's one play at second base, a steal play that we're going to have U1 take, and I'll get into that in just a second, okay? So let's start, before we go through the rotations and the positions, let's just talk a little bit about calling balls and strikes. There's going to be a certain feel to this, okay? We have to keep our mask on, and we have to keep 6 feet back from the pitcher, okay? So that's the first guideline. If you're on this field, if you're on front A, and the pitcher's on the front rubber, you know, you can't be in his back pocket, right? So you're going to get your 6 feet. Also, understand that if you guys have ever worked 2-man mechanics, we've got the A position, the B position, and the C position. So you're kind of in what we would call the B position, except instead of being more over here, you're going to be more right on, lined up with home plate, okay? Just like when you're behind the plate, timing is key. You want to have a hands on knees set, see the pitch all the way into the glove before you make your call, okay? As I've thought this through, one of the most challenging things in Little League is going to be how many times have you called a green game or a blue game where you got your hand up behind the plate and they still throw the ball anyway, nobody's paying attention, right? That's going to be even more of a challenge this season because now you're behind the guy throwing the ball. So you're going to have to use your voice. You're going to have to be very vocal, okay? And keep an eye on him. When he starts to go and you're not ready or the batter's not all the way in the box or whatever else is happening, he's not gonna be looking at you going like this. You go, wait, hold up, my time. Okay? You're gonna still say those things, but he's not gonna see you. So you really gotta communicate with your pitcher. Hands on knees set, butt down, head up. You don't want to be leaned over, just like if you were behind the plate. It's essentially, except for going down like this, you're gonna look kind of silly if you do this out here. Hands on knees set, track the ball all the way to the glove. Strike, ball, be vocal. Now more than ever, a lot of us don't call ball. Some of you just, if it's a strike, you'll come up and say strike. If it's a ball, you just won't say anything. Can't do that anymore. We have to use our voice, especially through these wonderful things, okay? I'll circle back a little bit more to calling balls and strikes and answer questions about that. David and I have talked a little bit. I think we prefer if you're a first or second year umpire or new umpire that's getting familiar and used to and comfortable from calling pitches from back here, we'd rather you lock into one side, meaning this side or this side. We're going to prefer, if you don't have a level of comfort on either side that you prefer, we're going to ask that you come to the first base side. Reason is that you're also going to be calling plays at first base. You're going to have the steal of second base in the divisions that can steal. And you've got home. So odds are if you're on this side, you can get a path home without impeding it. If you're on this side, if there's going to be a play at home, that means there's a ball going home. That means there's a runner running home. That means, especially in the lower levels, fielders are running all over the place, right? So you're going to have an easier path here, okay? So balls and strikes. Let's just take a basic ground ball from this position. Ball's hit. You're just going to step up, chest on the ball, wherever it is, and then you kind of just drift over. As with anything in umpiring, angle is more important than distance. Angle before distance. And that's going to be the key, especially this year under this system. So if Joe's playing first base, and I can get in here and get a 45-degree angle of his foot, that's much better than me running all the way here, but having a terrible angle and being blocked out by his body or by his leg, right? So angle before distance in everything you do. So ball's hit, boom, you step up, plate's coming to first, and then you're set to make your call at first base, okay? I'll go, I know I'm gonna move fast, but I'll go through all of this again or answer any questions. So what does the other guy do? If we're putting one guy on that side of the field, the starting position, this is with no runners on base, is going to be, if you can see my little fake base square here, is going to be on the third base line, 8 to 10 feet behind the bag, in foul territory. There'll be lines that are, they'll come and burn, I think, Joe, the lines into the field. You want your left foot right on the line. So your responsibilities from this position, you've got the whole line, fair and foul, with nobody on base, okay? So if there's a ground ball, normally in a two-man system, the plate umpire would have it up to the base. You've got the whole line. So you're calling fair and foul in front of the base and behind the base, okay? Now, this position you'll only be in when there is nobody on base. Once the ball's hit, let's say it's a base hit, right? You've got second and third. You start outside the diamond, but when the ball's hit, you're gonna come inside because you've got that play at second base if he rounds and goes, okay? So you're gonna stay inside the diamond until the play finishes. When the play finishes, then you go back to the outside of the diamond. Now you have a runner on first or a runner on second. Now you're gonna your starting position is gonna be out here like normal outfield mechanics, okay? You're responsible now for third base and for second base, okay? If you're in a situation, even on the bigger fields, where the base umpire would normally work inside mechanics, as a base umpire, you're gonna have to work outside. So you're gonna have a pickoff play there. So if you have a runner on second, you might want to cheat a couple steps to get that pickoff play. The one big key is, what's the most important runner on the field at any time? Anybody know? The lead runner, the runner that's closest to scoring, right? So this system, the way we set it up, and I think David's going to maybe put some of this stuff online so people can kind of see some diagrams, is really so that we're staying ahead of the lead runner. So let me give you an example. Nobody on base. Third base umpire's over there. I'm here. Base, what looks like a simple base hit. I'm moving over here because I'm going to make sure he touches first base. I know my partner's coming inside the diamond. He's got second and third. And then after I see that touch, if there's a throw behind him, I'm right here. But if there's not, now all of a sudden they're bobbling the ball around out there, right? There's a play at second. Now I'm starting to think, okay, this could get weird. Definitely by the time he's halfway between second and third, I need to be down. Okay, I need to get my butt down here and be ready for that play.
And by the way, that's no different than a regular umpire situation where the umpire is at home. If he's doing his job and he's coming out and getting the angle that John talked about, you're in that position anyway. You're coming out, you're getting an angle. They bobble it, they throw it around. You're here. Maybe the base guy's here. Now you're already coming back to a position to come back here. So that part is actually no different than a regular umpire situation. I just wanted to add what John was saying before. John, set up where you think you should set up as an ump So the only thing I wanted you to just think about,
For balls, right?
yeah, for balls and strikes. So if you're here, you got to think about proximity. When I umpire, especially with my size, I want to make sure I'm not blocking the view from home plate to me. Let's say the second baseman is right here, and he's directly in line. You need to be conscious of where this guy is. So you should glance back. And if I'm directly in the line between the fielder and home plate, you need to move one way or the other. Same thing over here. If you're in a position, I think about the outfielder. If I'm over here and I'm in my position that John's talking about, and I'm out here, who knows, maybe that outfielder's there. So I'm out here, I need to look back. If there's an outfielder right behind me and I'm blocking home plate, I need to do this. So that guy can see the ball coming out there. So just think about proximity and where you are in relation to the fielder behind you and home plate where the ball's coming from if he hits it.
That's a great point. Those of you who play 60-90, you probably have had umpires do this, and when you start umpiring at 60-90, you'll have the guys, like when I'm umpiring in the middle of the field 60-90, I'm going to get my position where I want to be, then I'm going to turn and give him one of these, the center fielder, right? And typically they're like, yeah, you're good, whatever. Anybody ever participated in that as a baseball player or seen that exchange? That's kind of what Joe's talking about, right? Normally, like I said, it's the base umpire on a big field, but in this case, we're going to kind of have to do it no matter what.
I did the same thing, John, and I just tell the kid, and many times I just look back, hey, you good? I mean, he might not know what you're talking about. Hey, you good? Can you see home? Can you see home? Okay, no? All right. The kid he's scared to even tell you. He'll go like that or like that, and you just move. But you got to be vocal, especially with these masks on.
So again, don't be confused. We talk about inside mechanics and outside mechanics, or inside positioning and outside positioning. One of the keys is when you're the third base umpire, you want to do as much of your work inside the diamond as you can once the ball's hit. You won't always be able to get there. So let's take another scenario. Runner on first base. You're starting outside your outside mechanics. There's a sharp ground ball to the shortstop. You've got that play at second. You've got the forced play at second as that umpire. You're not going to probably have time to get inside the diamond, right? So you're going to have to get the best angle you can to make that call. And as umpire one, I'm just coming over here and I'm just ready for the back end of the double play. Okay? Any questions so far? I know I'm just kind of spewing a lot of stuff here. Any positioning questions? Yeah.
Like, if a catcher makes a bad throw, should we get the ball or should we?
Say it one more time.
Like, if a catcher overthrows a pitcher and we're behind the pitcher, should we get the ball or should we?
No, because it's a live ball. Depending on what level
Well, it
of
might
game
not be
you're
a
doing.
live ball.
Well,
It's a social it's
either way.
a corona-ish, a COVID issue this season, and normally you're picking up a live ball. Now, if the smaller levels, it may not matter as much, but I would just stay away from that.
yeah,
this year.
we want you guys to keep the game moving. There'll be an inclination to help keep it moving that way. Stay away from the ball.
That's a tough situation. It's actually a good question. It's something that we're going to deal with now as much as possible. Where normally an umpire would do anything he could to stop the ball. Now we have to let it go. But I would say I'd encourage the fielders. The more vocal you are, if there's an overthrow and you're in this position and the ball's over here, I would say, hey, short, come on, get the ball. I mean, you got to move them. Second base, come on, help us out, get the ball here. The more vocal you are, if you don't say anything, they're not going to move. The more vocal you are, the quicker they're going to move to the situation. This is new for everybody.
So one area that may come up is like, okay, if I'm this guy, I'm umpire one, I've got first base, and let's say the bases are loaded, so there's a lot of activity on the bases, right? Again, the most important run and the most important runner is that one. I'd rather be in position to get that play right and miss a backdoor play into first than be set up to get that backdoor pick at first and screw up a play that's going to give somebody a run or take a run away from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to just use your baseball sense And keep that in mind that the most important runner is the one closest to home plate. The only exception to the U2 covering second base is on a steal of second. The reason why is you're already here and you've got a much better view of the play. So if I was a base umpire in a two-man system with a plate umpire, steal of second, after the ball hit the glove, I would open up and let the throw take me right to the play. You're going to do the same thing even though you're calling the pitch, okay? Because here's the thing, nothing's going to happen there without the baseball, right? And if it does, your partner's looking right at it. So if there's an interference or something that happens, an obstruction that happens before the ball turns you, your partner can help you out with that. But as far as the actual play itself, this guy here has a terrible angle on that steal play, especially if it's a close play with a slide. He's looking at the shortstop's back, most likely. You're right there, you've got a nice open view of the play. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
So